Hi, I'm Katie Ledecky. As an Olympic athlete, you might think staying healthy is easy for me. Truth is, we all face challenges. Keeping the right mindset is how we achieve our best personal performance. At Catholic Health, the same focus on wellness and prevention that I follow every day is the way they think too. That's why I'm teaming up with Catholic Health to help make healthcare even more positive, proactive, and personal for every person across Long Island. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
From South Huntington on Long Island, the Wreckers of Staples, the defending Connecticut state champs, are in the house to take on the Friars of St. Anthony's. It is another tri-state showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We want to thank our sponsor for today's game, Catholic Health. Long live you and long live Long Island. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Dylan Butler here with you to bring you all this excitement here on a Saturday afternoon here in the spring. It is Staples, it is St. Anthony's. Two teams that know each other well, two coaches who know each other well, two teams who annually play each other. So it should be set for another fun game. We start with Staples in this one. They are a team that just started in the state of Connecticut for the public schools. They only start on April 1st, so only one game under their belt, but they are the defending CIAC Class L state champions. And their head coach, Will Kashansky, has really built this program up over the last few years. They have won 3 out of the last 4 state titles up in the state of Connecticut. So they've got things certainly going well. They, as we said, only 1-0 on the season. They beat Horace Greeley in their opening game. Despite that, though, they are a little bit banged up to start this season, so that is a concern certainly for the Wreckers. But this is a game that they always circle on their calendar. They always want to go and take on the Friars of St. Anthony's. And we take a look at a couple players for Staples to keep an eye on here today. It starts on attack with Charlie Clark, senior, 3-year starter, going to Vermont. He plays a similar style to another attackman that we'll talk about during the game, Hunter Pillai, the junior, but really, really good, comfortable from the wing, comfortable behind the net. Those two really build off each other well. They really have a good chemistry, good quick twitch for the senior. Clark did not play in the opener. And on the defensive side, there is Nate Murillo, the junior. He's not a captain for this team, but he acts that way. Really vocal, commands the defense, probably about 6'1", 6'2", bound for Colgate. 2 of the top players for this Staples team. One note, though, they are missing one of the best short stick D-middies around, Max Hill, the junior, bound for Yale, number 44, not on the field this afternoon. So that's a big loss for Staples as they look to try to improve to 2-0 on the young season. For the Friars of St. Anthony's, it is the rare back-to-back defeats, although it did happen to them last year. When you get your schedule going the way they are and play a national schedule, you're going to take some L's. Back-to-back losses for them. We saw them last week. They lost to Del Barton and then followed it up with a loss to LaSalle on the road. And it's a situation that is a little bit of a recurring theme for the Friars. It's shooting woes, and it's not so much shooting from distance. It's even missing from 6 and 8 yards in, either missing the net completely or putting shots on frame that really good goalies are saving as well. So it's been something that has been talked about for this St. Anthony's team. Keith Weisberg said, listen, our guys are locked in. They're dialed in. They're practicing well. They're shooting well at practice. It's just about needing that breakthrough. When will that breakthrough game come with this group? They've made some tweaks to their roster, to their starting lineup, which we'll get to in a little bit. But he's hoping that breakout game offensively happens certainly sooner than later. One guy that they're going to lean on if they do have a breakout game offensively, this is our offensive player to watch, Jake Johnston, and he might as well also be our defensive player to watch. The senior here from Melville, the Hopkins commit, captain, a pocket knife kind of kid who could do a little bit of everything. He never steps off the field. We'll see him on the defensive side as a short stick D midi, great in transition, deceptive on the dodge, is really, really good. And we were going to highlight two defensive midfielders, and one got hurt. So now let's feature on the other side, wearing number 2 for the Friars. It is Brody Richard, the senior, bound for Towson, another captain of this team. Phenomenal. He could have been the MVP last year at different points, a guy who does a little bit of everything, an absolute beast. Two future D1 guys there for the Friars. Let's meet our starting lineup now. First for the visitors from Connecticut. And we mentioned the tandem of Pillai and Clark up top. Joining them, Tristan Benton, the senior. Your first midfield line, Ian Frankel, Nick Weil, and Connor Petrosino. At LSM, it is Finn Edwards, the sophomore. And then your close D. I feel like you need to have a guy. If you have a guy named Bear, you know he's really good at close D. Bear Swearington, Nate Murillo, we mentioned before, and Nate and Rory Benton. And in the cage for Staples, it is Nate Hammond filling in for the two-time All-American Josh Marcus, who is now at UNC. Hammond is an excellent junior, and he will certainly face some shots here this afternoon. We'll take a quick break. We'll have the St. Anthony's starting lineup and the keys to this one when we return on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Long live the morning routine. Long live friendly competition. Long live cozy nights at home. And long live healthcare that works with your life. Access to great doctors, simple mobile app, convenient locations across Long Island? Absolutely. You have options, but at Catholic Health, we'd like to remind you to choose you first, because we did too. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job of exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media's been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Back at Cy Donnelly Field here as we get set to start this one. Let's take a look at the St. Anthony's starting lineup. And a little bit of a change there. You've got Rooney Caciabato, and usually on the first midfield line is Dylan Harrigan, but he'll be bumped down to attack to get some more touches, which will move Billy Atkinson from the second midfield to the first midfield line, joining Jake Johnston and Aiden Dale there. Ryan Lasko is your starting LSM, and then you've got your close D of Bramoff, Heron, and Filiberto. And in the cage for St. Anthony's, we saw him in that a week ago, was excellent for the Friars. Nick Zank, the senior goalie, bound for Air Force. You see the numbers on the year. A lot of those saves came in that Del Barton game. Head coach of the Friars, there he is. In his 27th season, Keith Weiserick, 1986 graduate of St. Anthony's, 358 career wins to his name. As we get set for this one, let's take a look at the keys to this game for both of these teams. First, for Staples, it's the face-off X. And when you have a game like this, that's always one of the keys for either team, right? And they also, a new twist to Will Kashansky's team, a little bit of a 10-man ride, which has been problematic for the Friars this year. So they want to create some chaos there, which also leads to transition opportunities. Listen, St. Anthony's, they've done so well with rallying, but how about play ahead? They want to support Zank in the cage as well and be clean in the clearing game, which, again, when you're facing the 10-man ride, those things go hand in hand. To the face-off X we go. Paulie Lenigro will face off for the Friars today. On the other side, a little bit of a bigger player there as Staples. You see the pressure coming Hammond's way, which results in the turnover. So St. Anthony's will have that opportunity to play from ahead as Johnston comes out of the box with Dale. And also out of the box, Murillo. Right now, he's got Dale in the matchup. Coming downhill is Johnston. Feeds it to Rooney at X. He's got his defender hung up. The feed and the finish inside. Great look for Caciabato. And the Friars take the 1-0 lead. Here's another look. You see Rooney from X surveying the situation, and then kind of coming off a subtle pick from Johnston was Caciabato for goal number 13 on the season for the UNC-bound senior. So we go back to the face-off X. We didn't mention his name before, but you can see the difference certainly in size. Eric Skolnick is facing off for Staples, the Babson commit, and Lenigro wins this one cleanly. Lenigro and Robbie Johnson were the 1 and 1A at the face-off X. Johnson, though, a little bit banged up right now, so Lenigro for the third straight game will have the keys to that position. That's Sean Ronayne who is coming downhill. And there's the second. Hey, Weiserick said we want to go quick. We want to get the lead, play ahead, and that's exactly what the Friars have done there. As you take another look, the feed side-armed for Dylan Harrigan. So Harrigan bumped up to the attack line, or bumped down to the attack line. Goal number 6 on the season for him. And the whole idea was to get him some more touches, get him some more looks. 2 shots for the Friars, 2 goals for the Friars. Murillo looking for that ball in the wing play, but Lenigro, another win for him. Bounces it back for Zank, and now the 10-man is on for the Wreckers. St. Anthony's, they had this issue from in game 1 against Culver. and a few other times. And now look at Rooney. So good job to get the clear. And now it's Dylan Harrigan. Gets it to X. He's got the short stick matchup right now. And that is Dan Devine. He's actually the number 3 short stick D midi, but you've got injuries to 1 and 2 right now for Staples. Rooney from X. Rooney! 3-0 St. Anthony's.
Nice goal for him.
So Rooney at X beats his man, a little fake, and the finish high for the senior. Bounds for Maryland. And a terrific start for St. Anthony's, who have a 3-0 lead. Goal number 11 on the season for Rooney. So already a goal and an assist for Rooney. And just like that, all 3 of your starting attack with a goal apiece. This time Skolnick went early, so the violation will give St. Anthony's the ball. Gavin Johnston hands off to Logan Hecht. He's on with Reed Johnston now, as well as Gavin Snyder, who's got the ball now. Snyder, nice move. In and out of the stick. Ground ball picked up, swim dodge. And the Friars get going. That shot, first save for Hammond to deny Cachabato. And now Murillo gets it back to Hammond. Goes up to the middle. Oh, a little mistake there as they tried to get it over. Turnover Staples, and St. Anthony's back with the ball. There is Gavin Snyder. Snyder, the junior, bound for Army. He'll be the 3rd Snyder boy to play Division I lacrosse. Reed Johnston. So what a great start for St. Anthony's. There you see it again. Johnston beats his man and goes low. For Reed, his first of the year. And now the lead is up to 4-0. We go back to the face-off X. Skolnick, a returning starter there for Staples, and Lenigro. Paulie got a lot of run last year when Robbie Johnson was banged up. Skolnick gets this one clean. Now really for the first time today, we'll see the Wreckers on attack. That's Benton from behind, hands it off to Charlie Clark, 3-year starter for Staples. Now here's Connor Petrosino, just a sophomore. Petrosino down low, low to low, Zank the save.
Zank with the save.
And he does a good job corralling that loose ball. And here comes Brody Richard the other way. And now St. Anthony's looking to go quick. And Gavin Johnston loses it. Good stick check from behind by Rory Benton, the McGill commit. But now Staples struggling in the clearing game. And there is Harrigan. Out of the box comes Dale. And Atkinson. Atkinson down low. Atkinson goes low to high, and that shot wide. Rooney to restart. Works off the pick. Sidearm looking for Harrigan, and that one is also wide. Atkinson on the restart. Back to Rooney. The quick feed, and yeah, we've seen that before. Rooney to Cacciabato, his second, extends the Friars lead to 5-0. Yeah, rinse and repeat, right? Like it was the same look earlier as Rooney from X. You see it again. Quick feed and a quick finish for Cacciabato. 14 on the year now for Cacciabato. Nathaniel Cook gets the look at the face-off X right now. Skolnick beats him. Now Clark looks to go quickly. A guy who can attack from both the wing and from behind. Swims it to his right, reverses course. Clark! And Zank made the save.
Zank with the save. Nice job by him.
It is Zank and Dylan Rappaport right now. They're kind of going game for game as Richard sidearm shot wide. A game ago was Rappaport in that loss to LaSalle after Zank was excellent in that loss to Del Barton. That's Alex Shalafo up top now to Ronayne. Here is Rooney. What a shot. Sidearm, Cacciabato, hat trick in the first quarter.
Cacciabato with the hat trick in the first quarter. Sidearm. And just like
Look at that. Doesn't need much, right? A little bit of time and space. I think it was Rooney as well, right, who had the assist, but Cacciabato goes sidearm. He's a guy, too. He's so good around the cage, so he had a little bit more space this time. Still, great shot for Charlie as the lead now is 6-0. Back in Lenigro. Good job by Skolnick to go backwards, and now Staples looks to move quickly. And that was an errant pass over the top. It was Pillai trying to get it to X. Nobody there, though. Now the Wreckers again will try to go 10-man. Zank reverses course. There is Ethan Bramoff. Bramoff goes for the goal! Just wide.
at the 10th by Brown.
Benton over the middle. Devine. And here is Clark. Staples searching for their first goal of the afternoon. Nick Weil. Now it's Ian Frankel, the junior. He and Weil, very similar players. And Petrosino, that complimentary lefty as part of that group. Here comes Weil downhill. Clark back to Weil. Zank again. And then a crease violation against Staples. Zank has been dialed in here early. Heron gets it across. Doubled was Atkinson, still with the ball. Nate Murillo, though, hunting, knocking dudes down. He is a problem. Heron tries to get it to Rooney. An errant pass, turnover, and it will be Staples' ball. But we highlighted Nate Murillo in the beginning, the junior. Excellent takeaway guy. Really good with whatever the matchup is. Give him a big physical dude. He'll handle him. One of those short, shifty attackmen. Very good against those guys as well. Here is Frankel as Jack Pillai, the freshman, Hunter's younger brother, comes in. Usually it's he and Ben Martell, two freshmen who run out of not really a full second midfield line, just kind of two guys who will also see time. Martell, though, not playing today. So more time for these first middies as Weil. Good knockdown by Jake Johnston. Ball is loose, out to midfield. It stays with the Wreckers. Clark. Coming up on 10 on the shot clock. Back to Clark. He's got to go. Works off the screen. Clark looking for options. One. That shot wide as the shot clock expires. So again, Staples will attempt this 10-man ride. Really almost a 9.5 with Hammond not really completely out of his cage. Harrigan gets it across to Rooney, and now St. Anthony's back on attack. It has been all Friars here in this first quarter, as right now it looks like the plan is to lock off Aiden Dale. Just picked up the 5th star, if you follow those things closely in his recruitment. Illegal screen. So it will be Staples' ball as you feel for them. It's got to be a situation. Let's just get the first, as it's Hunter Pillai now. Junior bound for Bucknell. Great Dodger. Here's Petrosino. Looks for options. Harassed there by Gavin Johnston, the senior. Petrosino gets a shoulder in, roll dodge, and Zank right there again.
Zank the tank once again.
Inside the final minute of quarter number 1. Rooney tracks it down. Oh, tries to find Cacciabato at the crease. Hammond out of his cage. Harrington, Rooney, what a save! Hammond had to scramble back to the goal. And robbery there inside the final minute of the first quarter. That's got to feel good for a kid who's making his second varsity start. Going quick now are the Wreckers. Scramble in front of the goal. Ball is still loose. It's a rugby scrum. And finally, there had to have been a crease violation somewhere. No, they're going to say it was a push by St. Anthony, so possession stays with Staples. There were about 7 guys, it felt like, in the crease. As it's Clark to restart with 3. Clark goes wide. And that does it for the first quarter, but a great first quarter for the Friars after back-to-back defeats. They lead this one 6-0, and a big reason why. Number 12 in white, Charlie Cacciabato. 3 of his team's 6 as the Friars lead this one 6-0 at the break. You're watching it all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
At St. Francis Heart Center, we're not just regional heart experts. We share our greater success with the world. We don't just pioneer technology. We do it more than anywhere on Greater Long Island. And we don't just win awards. We deliver greater outcomes for people like you. As New York's only specialty designated cardiac center, we're not satisfied with just being good. This is Long Island. This is St. Francis Heart Center. And greater lives here.
Back here at St. Anthony's, and it is a homecoming for Will Kashansky in his 7th season, 8th year overall as the head coach of Staples. You see it there, a 2008 graduate of St. Anthony's, a Kings Park native. Said it's always great to come back here and face off against his former head coach in Keith Weiserick. Said its fondest memory at St. Anthony's, of course, you know, it had to be a win over Chaminade, and that was the case senior year. They beat Chaminade at Chaminade regular season. Mike Chanachuk scores the OT winner, and Kashansky says, I still remember running from the defensive side of the field all the way down the field to join in the celebration. And a important win for him, and one obviously that stuck with him for a lifetime. Face-off win for Staples. In the first quarter, it was the Charlie Cacciabato show. 3 goals for him. And Zank also was outstanding as he makes another save. Gets it out to Richard, looking for a punt return clear. He does that, gets to Rooney. And the finish by Cacciabato. That went from Richard to Rooney to Cacciabato. As we will take another look at this one. Tic-tac-toe, boom. Cacciabato, his 4th, as the Friars extend their lead to 7-0. And Rooney, what a facilitator he's been this afternoon. 1-3 now on the game for him. Skolnick goes backwards. And Sam DiGiovanni looked like he had it momentarily. And there is Harrington. And look out, here come the Friars. Harrington tries to find Cacciabato in front. And instead it goes into the stick of Hammond. For Nate Hammond, he's a guy who, you think about it, last 2 years it's been Josh Marcus in the cage for Staples. A 2-time All-American. He's right now at UNC starting as a true freshman. We go pole to pole, and that's a bouncer that is wide from Finn Edwards. But Kashansky said, listen, you don't have to be Josh Marcus, right? Just be you. Don't worry about who was in the cage last year. It is your job now. As the Friars... Staples has taken off the 10-man since St. Anthony's has done so well in getting clears today. And now Jake Johnston gets the ball to Billy Atkinson. And now it's Dale. So speedy is Aiden Dale. Gets on his horse, tries to get downhill, hands off to Harrigan. The feed to the crease, looking for Cacciabato. He was doubled down there, and the ball taken away as Hammond looks to try to clear. It has been troublesome for Staples in the clearing game. And that's not going to help things. Although the extra bounce might. Loose ball. It will be St. Anthony's ball. Friars 3-3 on the season, coming off those back-to-back losses to Del Barton and LaSalle, as Jake Johnston gets it across. We were told that sometimes he's able to be here, but his grandfather, the great Jack Emmer, is at the Army-Navy game. But we understand he's listening here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, so we appreciate that, as it is Harrigan. Dylan Harrigan. Gets it back. The Maryland commit, the lefty. Sidearm shot. And that one goes wide.
Just off the mark, wide.
And they'll say it actually did get on frame. They'll reset the shot clock. Little hop and a skip from Rooney. Pushes it back. Dale. Dispossessed. Getting hammered there by Rory Benton. Now Rooney, that was off the bar. Good GB by Billy Atkinson. Atkinson, the senior, bound for Bryant. The feed. Dale wasn't in a shooting position, so he'll reset. Back to Johnston. Johnston, wide. Beat his man, had an open shot.
By Hammond.
And there's Rooney. He's got a bear on him. Bear Swearingen. Johnston goes high. Hammond the save. It pops loose. Reset the shot clock as the ball goes back to Rooney. So an extended possession for the Friars as Dale looks to get downhill. Good job by Devine picking him up. Rooney spins, loses it. Dale back to Rooney. Good knockdown. I think it was Murillo who got it into the stick of Hammond. And now Clark. Here is Benton. Hands off to Palai. Frankel. Petrosino. Off the bar by Clark. Best opportunity,
Just off the bar.
as it's been difficult to beat Zank. Clark looked like he did have him beat there, but put it off the bar. They'll reset the shot clock. Here comes Clark. Rounds the cage and denied again. Zank.
Once again, like money in the bank. He's legit.
And the Friars get the clear. Harrigan. Has been running in that first midfield unit, but again, with the shooting issues that the Friars have had in recent games, and really it's like the last 3 or so games, you try some different things. So it's Harrigan jumping on the attack. That one scooped up by Hammond. Idea was to get Dylan some more touches and get him more involved in the offense. That has been the case. And then kind of running a bunch of guys, Billy Atkinson, the main one, to get that some extra time. There's Nick Weil. He is a Cherney football commit, starting quarterback for the Wreckers in the fall. That downhill righty Dodger. Gavin Johnston on him. Goes low. And that one was wide. Here comes Clark. Clark rounds the cage. Zank again. James Griffin pushed it ahead. And there you see Bramoff. Shalafo tries to feed the crease. Low pass, though, as it is Staples looking to scoop it up and get it clear of their own. 7-0 the lead for St. Anthony's. Hammond. That's a good-looking pass, as here come the Wreckers. Murillo! Wide. It would have only been a goal on the scoreboard, but not all goals are created equal. That could have been one of those juice goals that maybe got things started for the Wreckers. Here is Jack Pillai, hands it off. Petrosino with Richard on him. Petrosino, that lefty Dodger. He's a defensive back on the football team. A lot of those football lacrosse energies for Staples. And Zank again. It's Jack Pillai putting it on frame. Zank. Pick off on the defensive side as St. Anthony's was looking to go quickly. That's Alex Kovics who got the look, and now maybe something in the transition game. Good recovery defensively by St. Anthony's. Here's Hunter Pillai. Plays catch with Frankel. Pillai. Downhill, rings it off the bar. Some of the fans of Staples saying it was in. We don't have replay here, so we don't there is no challenge as Clark pushes it out. Staples has been incredibly unlucky on this side of the field. They've hit a few posts. Nick Zank has been outstanding in the cage as Kashansky calls the timeout to talk things over. As we take a look at the last 3 seasons for Staples, and there you see it. Last year, 17-5, beating Darien 7-6 in the CIAC Class AA championship game. A year before that, they lost to Darien, but they did win their first FCIAC title in 2024, and then 2023. You see there, beating Fairfield Prep 13-6. That was their second consecutive state championship. A year before that, they beat Darien. So all of these firsts, the win over Darien, first state championship for the Wreckers, and the FCIAC title was the first in 2024. So you have 3 state titles and an FCIAC title in the last 4 years for Staples. In the last 3 years for the Friars, they have all ended the same way, with wins over Chaminade to capture the Catholic Championship. You see last year 13-4. Inside of that 13-4, you had some losses in the middle of the season, but they bounced back from them well. You see 12-2 the year before, 12-1, as Weiserich has year after year has really tried to go from a regional schedule to more of a national schedule now, as Hunter Pillai, that is, puts the ball back into play. Up top, Nick Weil. Weil tries to feed. Good stick by Filiberto, but Clark picked up the ground ball. Bramoff on Clark. Tries to work off the screen. Slide comes his way. Clark tries to spin. Feeds it, and that is the shot clock violation.
Shot clock violation. Friars will take it.
As it's now Rooney. So you have a timeout, I believe, by the Friars.
Timeout called on the field. 1:02 left.
Gives us a chance to take a look at some of our upcoming broadcasts. We've got a Nassau County Public Schools showdown, Farmingdale and Southside. That is Tuesday at 6, and then we're back here at Cy Donnelly Field on Wednesday at 5 as the Ironmen of Don Bosco make the trip to South Huntington to take on the Friars of St. Anthony's. Those are two of our upcoming sportscasts, and if you would like to book a Varsity Media Sportscast, you can do so. We've got great graphics, a great crew of camera operators, broadcasters, make any game that big field game. You could do so by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. So 62 seconds left in the first half.
All right, folks, back to it.
So this will give St. Anthony's an opportunity here to hold, if they choose, for the last shot of the first half. Back up top to Rooney inside the final minute. Gets it to Dale. Quick slide to him. And now it's Rooney. Rooney the bouncer. Hammond the save. Cacciabato rebound in the goal.
Cacciabato, once again,
5 goals for Cacciabato.
5 goals for him as the Friars take an 8-0 lead.
You feel for Hammond. A great save. The ball popped loose, and that's a gritty goal by Cacciabato. He's got a battle with the long pole to get the GB. Turns, fires, scores. So 8-0 the lead with 23 seconds left in the first half. We go backwards. Lenigro. Ooh, look out. Lenigro hobbling. And they'll stop the clock for him. You don't want an injury anywhere, certainly if you're St. Anthony's, but considering the fact that Robbie Johnson is banged out and out, has missed the last couple of games, the last thing you need here for St. Anthony's is an injury to Lenigro, who has been outstanding at the faceoff X. Paulie, the senior out of Wading River, the Wingate commit, 68% this season. During the break, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for St. Anthony's. We mentioned before Bosco coming to town, then Malvern Prep. So a little bit of a home stretch here against really good opposition. Look, Iona Prep just beat up Bosco. So 3 straight home games, 3 straight on the Varsity Media Sports Network, and then the trip to Jersey to take on a really, really good Lawrenceville team. Lawrenceville was number 1 at one point this season. Suffered an overtime loss at home to Brunswick. As you could hear the clapping up for Lenigro, who will walk off here. With 12.5 seconds left in the first half. We did see Nathaniel Cook take a face-off earlier, and you wonder, will Cook get more time? Lenigro will have at least halftime here to work out whatever it is that is ailing him, but frustrated as he goes to the bench. Final 8 seconds here. Bramoff puts on the Jets. Bramoff, goal! The buzzer beater, pole goal.
Grandma with the buzzer beater. Holy Toledo.
Look at Bramoff. If this was the PLL, it's worth a few more than a goal. Outstanding goal from Bramoff as the Friars dominant in this first half. They'll take a 9-0 lead into the break. Well, the offense has been humming, but so has Nick Zank. Making saves high, making some saves low, point blank, whatever the case. Zank has been an eraser in the cage for the Friars, as he's got a 9-0 lead here going in to the second half. You're watching it all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Katie Ledecky. As an Olympic athlete, you might think staying healthy is easy for me. Truth is, we all face challenges. Keeping the right mindset is how we achieve our best personal performance. At Catholic Health, the same focus on wellness and prevention that I follow every day is the way they think too. That's why I'm teaming up with Catholic Health to help make healthcare even more positive, proactive, and personal for every person across Long Island. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves. You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights. but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athletes' key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Long live the morning routine. Long live friendly competition. Long live cozy nights at home. And long live healthcare that works with your life. Access to great doctors, simple mobile app, convenient locations across Long Island? Absolutely. You have options, but at Catholic Health, we'd like to remind you to choose you first, because we did too. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
It's been great for us. You know, the kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosts the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media is reliable, professional, and their quality work is fantastic. It's like watching ESPN. The announcers are unreal, really do a great job of speaking to the coaches to get the knowledge of the players, the season, what's going on with the team. There is nothing better than Varsity Media doing a live broadcast.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Merrill, he's got room to go. Merrill towards the end zone. Lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo, face on, stay on athlete. Controlling the face-off. That's 3 in a row now.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age.
Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong,
and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field as we get set for the start of the second half. And it was a first half, a dream first half really for St. Anthony's, a 9-0 lead, getting it done on both ends. Cacciabato leading the way offensively with 5 goals, and then you saw Nick Zank as well before the break. A big performance from him in the cage. A change here, we saw Paulie Lenigro go down with an injury, so this is Nathaniel Cook. He is face-off guy number 3 on the depth chart against Eric Skolnick, and he went early. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, he did. He went early. So face-off win for Staples as they look to get their first goal of this game. They scored 17 of them in that win over Horace Greeley in game number 1. A lot of times this matchup is usually later in the season, so it's got to be tough for Staples when your game number 2 is against a team playing its 7th game of a national schedule, as Clark gets the first one. Charlie Clark, the Vermont commit, goal number 1 on the season, did not play in that win against Horace Greeley. That's a great start for Staples in quarter number 3. Clark, a 3-year starter. Good change of direction, comfortable on the wing, but also dangerous underneath. Another face-off win for Skolnick now. And if you're Staples, you got to feel like, look, we just needed to get the 1. We like our matchup at the face-off X, as it's Nick Weil gets the clear. Now you chip away. It is Clark working it to X. Tristan Benton! And 2 quick goals inside the first 50 seconds of the third quarter. Benton, one of the captains of this team, goal number 6 already on the season. usually that good off-ball guy. There you see, swims to his right, reverses it, wraps it around the cage, as it is now a 9-2 game. And the wing play gets involved as Finn Edwards gets the ground ball. So 3 consecutive faceoff wins for Staples, and now here comes Nate Murillo. Pole goal, no! Zank denies him.
Zank with the denial, so no goal there, but nice effort. Staples with the momentum.
Pillai to restart. Ian Frankel pumps the brakes. Now it's Bramoff on him, tries to scamper away from Bramoff. Hands it off to Jack Pillai. Now Staples feeling a little more confident now. Hunter Pillai. Back to Frankel. It is Benton who's got his defender hung up. Clark behind the cage. Looking for cutters. Really taking himself. Clark. Harassed now by Heron. Goes low, tries to go near post. Good job by Heron. Feet to the crease as a shot clock expires. So a shot clock violation against Staples. Brody Richard. Ahead to Jake Johnston. And now St. Anthony's on offense now for the first time in the second half. Dale, good stick check. Rooney with 1 and 3 in that first half. Has Murillo on him, rounds the cage, the bouncer is wide. The backup was there in Harrigan.
Just off the one.
The super sophomore, Aiden Dale, hands off to Jake Johnston. Johnston gets downhill. Johnston off the bar. Ground ball scooped up. Good one by Finn Edwards. Gets it back to Hammond. Well, we sang the praises of Zank. Hammond was pretty solid as well in the first half. And this just his second varsity start. Here is Ian Frankel as the Wreckers look to chip away here. Jack Pillai gets to Clark. Sets the screen as Clark tries to find a way around Bramoff, which is certainly easier said than done. Oh man, yard sale. The loose ball though pops out and Nick Weil puts it in the net. Bramoff helicoptered Clark stick out, but then good head there by Weil. And that chaos comes up with the ground ball and puts it in. Goal number 3 on the year for Weil. It is 3 straight goals for Staples. as it's now a 9-3 game. As now the Friars are going to pull at the faceoff X with Ryan Lasko. And another win for Skolnick. Ball back to Hammond. And now it's Petrosino. As Frankel comes out of the box. Petrosino saved by Zenk. Loose ball in front, and Clark finishes it.
And Clark with the goal.
Takes the harm as well. Clark, his second of this second half. Watch Clark. Took a nasty slash on that one. As you see, Filiberto came down on his arms. Wasn't picked up by the officials, so Clark wasn't the hoop in the harm, but he did get the harm regardless, as it's now a 4-0 run to start the second half for Staples. 2 by Clark, 1 by Weil, 1 by Benton, and then a push by Lasko, and possession again for the Wreckers. Frankel loses it. Lasko will stay up there. Gets the GB. Taken away, though, by Petrosino, the sophomore. A little bit frantic and frenetic in the midfield. Lasko right by the Staples bench. And there is Rooney to pick up the GB. I think right now for St. Anthony's, best thing you do is settle. Get your personnel on and run something in a settled 6v6. And there is Cachabato. 5 first-half goals for him. You had Rooney with 1, Harrigan with 1, Reed Johnson with 1, and then Bramoff with a pole goal. The jumper! Harrigan! Goal number 2, a much-needed one as well for the Friars to end that 4-0 run.
10-4, good buddy. That's your score.
As the lefty gets high, finishes high, his 7th of the season. Back to Cook at the face-off X against Skolnick. Skolnick, again, with that size and strength. Able to get it. Look out, though. In trouble. And it forces Staples here to call a timeout. That's how important these possessions are for the Wreckers.
Staples wants to talk it over with 5:55 left in the third quarter.
Gives us an opportunity here to take a look at some of Staples college commitments. And there you see Pillai leading the way, going to Bucknell, Benton to McGill, Swearigan to Bates, and Skolnick to Babson. Justin Halkey, unfortunately, out injured. He's going to head to Williams. Max Hill also for this game, out injured. He'll go to Yale. Charlie Clark, Vermont. And Nate Murillo, an absolute steal right now for Colgate. So those are your Staples commits, and let's take a look at their current players in college now, and they've got a host of them. You see Henry Dodge, great face-off guy in his own mark. Right now doing things at Maryland after transferring from Vermont. Ryan Thompson, part of that really good Richmond team that just a couple of weeks ago was #1 in the country. Ben Burmeister at Notre Dame. We mentioned these two guys to their right, to his right. Josh Marcus, 2-time All-American. currently a starter as a true freshman at North Carolina, and Adam Udell as well. What a senior season Udell had. Went to the record books at Staples, most goals scored in a season, most assists in a season, and now crushing it at Michigan. Of course, Michigan home to the college basketball national champions as they defeated UConn. And anytime UConn suffers a loss, I'm a happy guy. St. John's alum here. So anytime UConn falls, that's a good day in my book. Off the timeout. Here comes Petrosino. Feed to Clark. Gets it back. A couple of goals already for Charlie. Clark tries to get topside. That's taken away. Gets it back to Petrosino. Petrosino harassed to X. Clark low to low. Bounces it wide.
Nice attempt by Clark.
Hunter Pillai to restart. Had 4-1 in that win against Horace Greeley. Right now off the score sheet. He wants to change that really quick. Slide comes his way. Our first flag is thrown. Pillai on the delayed penalty. The ball scooped up by Patrick Heron, and for the first time today, Staples, or really either team, will go man up. As we take a look at the officials and the call coming our way. Ooh, this is a 2-minute locked-in cross-check. This is against Michael Sabatino.
Michael Sabatino.
So Staples here, mark it down, 5:07 left in this quarter. They could score as many times as they would like in these next 2 minutes with that locked-in penalty. It was a cross-check to the head, which is what locked them in. Big moment in this game. Here's Pillai. Hunter feeds it. Low shot in the finish by his brother, Jack Pillai, the freshman.
Jack Pillai, the Jack attack.
So Hunter to Jack, Pillai to Pillai. The man-up goal for Staples.
Pillai to Pillai. Goal and assist.
Low to high. What a finish by Jack. Big face-off here as well. Again, that clock has got to get down to 3:07 before Sabatino is released. This time it's Brody Richard trying it. Skolnick, though, kicks it ahead, wins it to himself. Clark, and now this man-up continues already with 1 goal. It was a 9-0 deficit for Staples at the half, and they've cut that now to 5 goals. Clark feeds it to X to Nick Weil. Back up top to Hunter Pillai. Gets it to Clark. Bramoff, excuse me, that's Lasko. Trying to take away the passing lane. Franco back to Clark. Ooh, that's a tough one, as now he's got to worry about Lasko. Does scoop it up cleanly, though. Shot clock could become a factor here for Staples as it is approaching 10 seconds. Here is Hunter Pillai, hands off. Can they get a shot off? You don't want a shot clock violation, man up. And that's exactly what will happen for Staples. So some miscommunication there. Now you wonder, I thought for a second they might try to 10-man here. You do have an extra player out there anyway. Good clear by St. Anthony's, and now Staples, they're gonna have to try to, or excuse me, we're inside now, so we are even 6-on-6. So just that one man-up goal on that 2-minute locked-in penalty. As it is Dale trying to go downhill. Cachabato. And it's Harrigan now. Draws the short stick. Harrigan up top, Atkinson. Reverses it to Jake Johnston. Oh, he had Rooney at the crease, just couldn't make that connection. Hammond does get it across. Bear Swearingen gets in and out now as Staples looking to again slice away at their deficit. Can they get something going in the sub game? They're going to try here as Jack Pillai downhill. Here is Hunter Pillai now. Hunter lowers his shoulder. He was sent to the turf, though, as lowering the boom was Heron. And now Clark operating from X. He's got Bramoff hung up inside the final minute of the third quarter. A third quarter that has been all Staples. Clark bouncer denied as another shot clock violation.
Shot clock violation.
So final 42 seconds here. Again, Staples trying to ride it back. Tough pass for Bramoff, does knock it down.
30 seconds.
And now Ethan. He already beat the buzzer in the first half with a long distance pole goal. Look at that, Murillo picks it away. Something now in transition. Zank, tremendous save. He denies Tristan Benton. We go the other way with 11 seconds. Another. Look at Murillo. He has been outstanding. Pushes it ahead to Swearingen. Ooh, look out. Zank hammered Benton, and that flag came right at the end. Zank didn't play the ball. He played the man. There you see it again. Just hammered Benton. So before we go to break, we'll take a look at this flag, and it's going to be against Zank. And you see Weiserick looking for an explanation. It wasn't high, and that's, I think, what Weiserick was saying. Like, I get the flag, but he got him in the chest, so. And I think the officials are saying it might have went to the head. Let's see. So they won't have a face-off to start the fourth quarter, a 1-minute penalty. So Staples will start the fourth quarter man up, and they're looking to get a little more of this. Pillai to Pillai on the man-up goal. What a third quarter it was. 10-5 is the lead for Staples or the deficit, excuse me, for Staples heading into the fourth quarter on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
Hi, I'm Katie Ledecky. As an Olympic athlete, you might think staying healthy is easy for me. Truth is, we all face challenges. Keeping the right mindset is how we achieve our best personal performance. At Catholic Health, the same focus on wellness and prevention that I follow every day is the way they think too. That's why I'm teaming up with Catholic Health to help make healthcare even more positive, proactive, and personal for every person across Long Island. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
And back here at Cy Donnelly Field, there you see Dylan Rappaport. Maybe thought he had the day off, but with Zank in the box, Rappaport will be in the cage, at least for this next minute, for St. Anthony's. Dylan Rappaport, the senior, bound for Loyola. 47.8 is his save percentage. Again, no face-off here to start this fourth quarter on that 1 minute man up for Staples. They are 1 for 1 on the extra man in this game. Clark to X, and here is Frankel now. Hunter Pillai, they're gonna go quick. Good job defensively by Heron, taking away that opportunity at the alley for Frankel. Hunter Pillai up top. Here's Jack Pillai to Clark. 20 seconds left on the man up. Ian Frankel. Clark goes low, and that is wide. 13 seconds remaining on the man up for Staples. Here is Frankel. They'll reverse it. Good job by Filiberto and Lasco. We are even now. And Lasco just pushes it ahead. Great scoop by Lasco. He will go pole to Bramoff. Lost it momentarily, the scramble, and it's Heron who comes away. Now some numbers. Lasco gets it to Cachabato. Now the question is, what do you do in goal? Do you keep Rappaport in then? Zank was outstanding. But right now it is still Rappaport in the St. Anthony's goal. Harrigan. And now Dale. Went from 4-star to a 5-star. Dale tries to go high. And that one was wide. Rooney on the restart. Murillo on him. Rooney, jump shot! And the finish! Rooney with the wicked jump shot. His second goal of the game. A big one for him. 2 and 3 now for the senior bound for Maryland. 11-5 now the lead. Zank back in the cage for the Friars. Skolnick for Staples and Cook for the Friars. And again, Cook went early. So since the injury to Lenigro, the face-off X, and it was one of the keys for Kashansky, has been tilted to the visitors from Connecticut. Here's Pillai. Pillai goes question mark off the bar. Now Gavin Johnston will get it across. Found James Griffin. And it's now Shalafo, the junior. St. Anthony's look to use some of the shot clock now in their favor. They had the unenviable situation of playing LaSalle on the road with no shot clock. As it's Rooney goes question mark himself, and he goes just wide.
By Rooney, just wide on the shot.
Gavin Snyder will restart. So there were possessions for LaSalle of like 3 and 4 minutes in that game. And then when St. Anthony's did get the ball, the offense started to press a little bit and take some bad shots. And even the good shots they took were either wide or were saved. Rooney, quick feed, low to low. And Hammond denies Cachabato.
And Hammond with the save.
The Wreckers come the other way now. Nick Weil, QB1 in the fall. In the fall, that would have been an incomplete pass. As it is Clark now. Kicks it out to Petrosino. He's going to go left. Petrosino. Back to Clark. Good denial there by Gavin Snyder, now playing on the defensive side of the field. Clark again has Heron hung up. Excuse me, has Bramoff hung up. Clark. The kick out. Again, Bramoff, great job. 19 on the shot clock. Nearly blowing a tire. The bouncer off the bar, the rebound put home. Benton gets his second. Staples were celebrating that first one, thinking it went in, and just making sure Benton, the captain, or one of the 4 captains on this team, with the finish inside. His second of the game, his 7th of the season. As the score now 11-6. Brody Richard in to face off for the Friars against Skolnick. And Brody gets the win. When we featured him before the start of the game, we did so looking to feature his work as a defensive midfielder. And now Richard coming up. Another pole goal. This one is bounced by James Griffin. But the backup was there. We didn't expect Brody to step in and win a faceoff, that is for sure. But great job by him, as he'll give his team now at least another minute here with the ball. Rooney, though, looking to go fast. Slide comes his way. Peels out. BTB attempt by Cachabato. That will reset the shot clock. So Jake Johnson there just kind of checking over his shoulder, making sure he knows what he's working with in terms of said shot clock. Johnston tries to play a 2-man game. And again, I think anything in Murillo's radius here, he has knocked down. 77 for Staples has been a beast. Dale peels away from 2. Atkinson! From long distance. A good time to get goal number 1 in the year for Billy Atkinson. As the Bryant commit makes it 12-6 now for the Friars. Big one for Billy Atkinson, who has been moved up to the first midfield line. This one goes to Finn Edwards on the wings, and now Staples. Look at Richard again. Comes in, gets the cause turnover. And now Bramoff looks to go the other way. It has that feel now of St. Anthony's took Staples' best punch. They survived it, and now they've got the ball with a 6-goal lead. And they're feeling pretty good about themselves as Gavin Snyder mentioned before. What a family he has. Tommy, the Virginia defender, Will, the goalie up at Fairfield. Their dad, Bill, played lacrosse at St. John's. Their mom, Annie, was a swimmer at Fordham. As that shot, no backup. So Staples will get the ball. Let's not forget their grandfather, Tom Golden, played football at St. John's when St. John's had football. I'm old enough to remember actually broadcasting some St. John's football games back when I was a student there. Here's Pillai, Bob Ricca, the head coach. Jack Pillai. Staples down by 6. Nick Weil. Hunter Pillai. Feeds the crease. Off the bar. Thought we had a shot. I thought we had a crease violation. And actually, I think they're saying, I think it was that Zenk came out, or he had the ball, went back into his crease. Whatever the situation is, it'll be Staples' ball. Clark tries to get his defender in the spin cycle, and Lasko is like, I've seen enough of that. Look to try to scoop it backwards to Bramoff. Great effort by Lasko, just diving, selling out. And he gets it ahead to Heron. He already has a pole goal this year. That was scored in a huge third quarter against Chaminade when St. Anthony's rallied in that one to win on the road. And that was a little bit of what had been the rallying cry for the Friars, where they've had these deficits in games. They've come back and they've won. And we saw that neutral site game at Marco Battaglia practice field there at Rutgers when they beat, as a flag is thrown here, as I believe Staples with an extra defender here. They came back to beat Episcopal in overtime in that one, and that's great for morale and all, but Keith Weisberg said after 2 straight losses, let's take a lead in this game. They certainly did that. Up 9-0 at the half as Harrigan hands off. Atkinson tries another one, switches hands, and now the whistle will blow. It'll be a 30-second man up for the Friars. Not many flags thrown in this one, so I believe this is the first man up for St. Anthony's in this one. It'll only be for 30 seconds, though, as it is Dale to Jake Johnston. Atkinson gets the ball back from Cacciabato. They move it quickly. Johnson up top, tried to feed the crease, knocked down, GB by Cacciabato. We are even now. Dale gets it back to Rooney. Rooney feeds, and the finish by Jake Johnston. The little bit of the hezzy in front by Jake. The 4th assist of the game for Rooney. Look at that. Like little slight hesitation from Johnston at the crease. Faked it high, went low. No chance there for Hammond. As Jake Johnston, the Hopkins commit, gets his 7th of the year, 1st of the game. And it's now a 13-6 lead for the Friars inside the final 2 minutes of this one. Skolnick, good face-off win. Look out. Look at Richard from behind. With a 13-6 lead, you lose the face-off. You can just figure you can go in the cruise control, but that's not how number 2 plays. Chased it down, won the ball back, or he forced the ball out of the stick, and now he does win the ball back. Here is Snyder on the basketball team in the winter. Gavin Snyder just works the X as St. Anthony's. Again, Staples gave them their best punch in that 3rd quarter. You survived it well as Rooney wraps around the cage. Hammond, the scoop shot by Cacciabato went off the bar. And Hammond gets it back inside this final minute of the 4th quarter. Off the takeaway. Shot by Logan Hecht was wide. And an injured Staples player down. Looks like it's likely a cramping issue. We showed you St. Anthony's upcoming schedule. Let's take a look at what Staples has going forward. Again, this is only game number 2 of the season for Staples. The Wreckers, as it's Murillo, man, he has really worked his butt off today. They'll take on Brian McMahon, and then one of the signature showdowns of the year, they'll be home for New Canaan. They'll take on St. John's Prep from Massachusetts, and then they head to Ridgefield. Kind of wide open this year in the FCAC, I should say. Really, even in the states as well. Usually, it's the FCAC team that is their state championship winner, and you've got Darien as maybe the preseason favorite. They just lost to Yorktown, and then you got to figure Staples will be in the mix once they get healthy. Ridgefield, as well as New Canaan there as well. We'll see New Canaan at Chaminade in a couple weeks, as no reason here for St. Anthony's to run anything else. They'll let the shot or the game clock wind down as the Friars will snap a 2-game losing streak, return to their winning ways here with this 13-6 victory here at Cy Donnelly Field. So St. Anthony's will improve to 4-3 for Staples. They are now 1-1 on this young season for them. And if you think back to the keys for St. Anthony's, I think you could check off a lot of those boxes, right? Be protecting Zank. Well, Zank played excellent in the cage, and the defense in front of him played well. They jumped out to a lead. Yeah, they did that in a big way. A 9-goal lead at the half, and then they faced a little bit of adversity as well in that 3rd quarter. They responded well to that adversity to get this win. Well, Kashansky brought his guys down to his alma mater as Staples looking to knock off a St. Anthony's team that had back-to-back defeats. But Cacciabato, that was one of his 5 goals in the first half, and Zank was outstanding in the cage, making multiple big saves. But then Charlie Clark with the finish as Staples tried to stage a rally, but Danny Rooney and the boys from St. Anthony's made sure that was not the case. For our entire Varsity Media crew, our executive producer, Ben Turchin, our technical director, Chris Sweeney, for Tyler Stazak and Kevin Catalanato, bringing you all those great moving images. I'm Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from Cy Donnelly Field. We'll see you midweek when Don Bosco comes here to take on the Friars. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you next time on the Varsity Media Sports Network.